Yeah.
Hi everyone, and welcome to our first catch up. Every week I'm going to be calling up a friend from a different country in hope that their perspectives will inspire you to do more of what you love and get you thinking about how you can achieve more harmony in your life so that you feel more energized and fulfilled. So this is Sara from Sweden, and I met Sara when we were studying at Bond University. Sara, what do you remember most about this time?
Oh, geez. I remember being like, at that time, I would say it was the highlight of my life so far. It was basically just like beaches and parties, and I do know that we went to school, but I don't really know what I learned. So yeah, basically all the social stuff around that, and just exploring another country and sunshine. And also meeting a lot of boys.
Oh my gosh, it was so
Yeah.
fun, wasn't it? Do you remember all the jacuzzi parties that we'd have?
Oh yeah, yeah, that was just great. And I mean, I was 21 at that time, so I was really young, I would say. And like you had the energy to do so much. So I remember being out like clubbing like two, 3 times a week, but still like going to school and passing all my classes and I don't know, having time for friends and everything and not being hungover every day, even though I drank a lot. Yeah.
Yeah,
It was a bit off topic, but
absolutely. Oh man, I miss those days so much. I agree. I think that it
yeah.
was probably the best time in my life. Like
Yeah.
so much fun. So I think a lot of things have probably changed for both of us since
Yeah.
then. So how do you spend, so I know that you're a mum, but tell me more about how you spend your days now.
Well, I work full time, so pretty much on weekdays I work, and during this whole COVID pandemic, I've been at home working, still am, and probably going to be for the entire year. So a day is like we wake up, I take uh, our son, Albin, to kindergarten. I go back home, work for 8 hours, and then someone picks him up. Then we have dinner, put him to bed, and then it's like a few hours of like me time or spending time with my husband before going to bed. It's kind of when you have kids, it feels like a lot of life is just routines, and weekdays are just something you have to like go like pass through before the weekend.
Yeah.
So sometimes a bit like dull, but I mean I love my job, so it's fine. But
Yeah.
it's a mental challenge to be at home so much, I would say.
Yeah, I
Mm.
can really imagine that kind of being at home and working and kind of having a little one and your partner and having to juggle everything at the same time. It must be quite full on, but it sounds like you've got
Yeah.
everything under control, so it
Yeah, I
sounds
hope so.
really
I
good.
thought like when we were like sent home, I thought like having to spend almost every hour with my husband would be a challenge because we're both working from home.
Yeah.
Because we live in a 2-bedroom apartment and we have no like natural space for like computers. So we are on each other all the time.
Yeah.
But it's actually quite fun. I would say it's really nice to spend more time with him and like to be able to have lunch with your husband. I mean, you would never do that otherwise, so that's been really nice.
Oh, that sounds
Yeah.
really lovely. So, apart from kind of like working from home now, then, how would you say your routine has changed? Has, I don't know, like since COVID has hit, have you started to kind of prioritize other things, or have you found some like non-negotiables during this time?
Well, we have so like in Sweden, some people think that we don't have any like rules for this COVID thing, but they've been kind of strict with the whole like social distancing thing part and like not spending time with people you usually don't hang out with and things like that. So we have spent a lot of time with my family because they live close by. So it's been sort of like we've focused our like social activities on the family. So that's something that we prioritize. One part because it's been easy, and I wouldn't say risk-free, but Albin and his cousins, they go to the same preschool. So like in terms of getting infected, like if the kids would be, then everyone would be either way. So we might as well hang out.
Yeah.
So that's something that we prioritize. And then I would say we have also like changed how we spend our free time, and we are outdoors a lot. So like we bought so much new stuff, like hiking shoes and like all this equipment, because I mean, it's not, what can you do? Like you can't go to like a shopping mall with a 2-year-old, and I mean, I don't think we would have wanted to either way. But we can't really travel anywhere. We can't go visit any friends. So it's been more like exploring the area close by, but being outdoors. So
Yeah.
And that's been kind of like a positive thing, I would say.
Yeah.
So if the situation change, I hope that we can still like keep that up.
Yeah. Oh, that sounds nice.
Yeah. But if I couldn't have spent time with my sister, I think that would have been way worse. Like for me mentally. So being able to actually meet them, not every day, but like a couple of times a week, that has been like a lifesaver.
Yeah.
So
That's good. So what are the rules then in Sweden?
well, we have to like keep a social distance, and you cannot be, well, you can be, but it's not like anyone's going to stop you. But the recommendation is to keep so like 2 meters apart from other people.
Yeah.
And the recommendation is to work from home for the whole year. You should not go on like public transportation unless you really have to. So that people who needs to go there on like buses to be able to get to like the hospital because they work there, then they should be able to do that. So me, if I go to the office, I will ride a bike. And then you cannot have social gatherings of over 50 people. There's like a very like horrible rule that you cannot hang out with people who are over 70. So they have been like very like isolated.
Yeah.
So like lucky me, my dad is 67. so that's fine.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's a lot of people who have been very alone at this point. And then like Swedes in general, we are like very polite, and so like when we get like recommendations like this, most people actually follow them. So like if you go to the supermarket, you're gonna see like people actually like in line with like a lot of distance, and people are just like respecting those rules.
Yeah.
But then again, like a lot of people have died here, and it's awful. But right now, it seems to be working.
Okay, that's good then.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So yeah, it sounds like, yeah, COVID's obviously affected Sweden, but the rules have just been a little bit more relaxed. And
Yeah.
I don't know, I suppose during that time, although you stick with the recommendations, so you're kind of working from home, but you're kind of trying to make the most out of it by going outdoors as much as possible,
Yeah.
connecting with your sister and kind of having those strong relationships kind of even stronger, would you say?
Yeah.
Stronger?
Yeah. And also we've been, I mean, there was a while when you couldn't like travel outside your region. Now you can. It was like you can go like 1.5 hours from your home, and that's it. So
Yeah.
Max's parents, they live like 3 hours away. So we couldn't see them for a couple of months when that was not nice, of course.
Yeah.
But then we've been like way better at using like FaceTime and things like that. So especially with Max and his friends who live in Stockholm, so that's like a 5-hour car ride or 3 hours by train. So we've had like dinners with like 10 people on on their laptops having dinner at the same time, and him and his friends, they've done like game nights. So they are like playing a game together on the iPad and then like having a video on the computer and things like that. So I think that we've been pretty good at trying to like socialize even though we can't meet face to face.
Yeah. Oh, that's so lovely. That's That's super creative, isn't it? I think I felt the same actually when it's first hit. I was calling up Lucy and Georgina, and we were doing like little sushi date nights with wine. I was sat in the
Yeah,
conservatory, and it was like an actual thing. So
yeah,
it's fun. It's kind of like they're already there if you have a drink in your hands and you're with your
yeah.
family. It's really fun.
Exactly. Yeah,
That's good. So I think one thing a lot of us, COVID or no COVID, struggle with is kind of finding that work-life balance. So you have a lot going on. How would you say that you kind of juggle the two, and how do you try and create balance?
I think that like if you would have asked me a couple of years ago, I would say that I was really bad at it. But I think that especially after I became a mom, like priorities change, and I have a very like open dialogue with my boss at work. So it's like I could work for like 10, 12 hours a day, but I just don't have time for it. So I'm very like transparent against her, saying that like, yeah, I could do that, and there's like a lot to do, but I just don't have time for it. So like the most important thing in my life is not work. So I'm gonna like work my 8 hours, and then I'm gonna shut down and just leave my computer. But then I have a very understanding boss, and she's a mom herself.
Oh,
So she's very like positive, and that's fine by her. I think that like her view on it is that like she'd rather have me work just 8 hours and be able to work for longer, like not get burnt out or something like that, or not like being there and just find some other place to work at. So she's very good. So I would say that like finding a good employer is key.
yeah,
And then also like I try to like time box my day. So sometimes I don't like if I need to like leave Albin and pick him up, I'm not gonna like have time during the day to like do 8 hours. So then if it is one of those days, then I'd rather maybe like work six hours, get like a nice training during lunch, and then when he's asleep, then I just say that yeah, I'm gonna work 2 hours and that's it, and like not just stay up all night just because you're sitting on the couch with your laptop.
yeah.
Like do time boxing, like yeah, it's 2 hours and then I'm done.
Got you.
Yeah. So
Nice. So I suppose you set boundaries at work where you kind of know that you're not going to work over a certain amount of hours because your home life is very, very important and your boss respects that. And then
yeah,
you're quite good with your time management, with time blocking. That helps you.
yeah.
That's
Like I always try to like schedule things in my calendar at work. Also, like I'm not really good at doing that for lunch, for example. Sometimes I don't have time to eat, but like if I want to get like a nice workout, then I block that time in my calendar,
yeah.
just to make sure that I actually get it done.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, it sounds like you know what you want to prioritize, and then you kind of get that done. And sometimes just because there's so much going on, you're like, oh no, I didn't have like a very good lunch today or whatever, because you were focusing on other things. But you kind of dedicate time with your diary and your time blocking, and you generally feel that it kind of works that way, which
yeah, I am kind of a structured person,
yeah,
but then I would say like if I would say like my time is very, like maxed out right now. So when it comes to something else that you like a bump in the road,
yeah,
then like everything just falls apart.
yeah,
And I guess that like sometimes I think that I'm like always a little bit stressed.
yeah,
And when something just like a bump in the road comes along, then it's like okay, I don't know what to do. Like I can't handle it. So right now, for example, we don't have internet at home. Because my kid he poured water on the like Wi-Fi router.
oh my gosh.
So we haven't had internet for 2.5 weeks now.
Oh
So
wow.
now like I have to find somewhere else to work.
Yeah.
So like one day I'm sitting at my sister's because she was close by. But then like her kids are home from kindergarten on Monday, so on Mondays I can't sit there, and like on Tuesdays I have to go there. So it's like a whole new thing, and then suddenly like I have 30 minutes of transportation to work, and then my plan just falls apart. But hopefully on Thursday we're gonna have like a technician here to fix it.
Yeah. Oh, good.
It's been very stressful.
Day.
Yeah, and also like when you don't have internet, and now I'm just like out of a topic here, but like streaming videos for your kid, like if we haven't had TV for 2.5 weeks.
Yeah. Whoa. What have you done to kind of deal with that?
We have like a really, really old iPad, so we have downloaded a few shows to that, but it's like limited space. So
Yeah.
he's been watching the same like 4 episodes of, like, I don't know if you have it in the UK, Bing. It's a little black bunny, like a cartoon.
Oh yeah.
He loves that, so it's like the same episodes running like over and over and over again.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. That's lucky that he's just 2 though, because they like that at 2. Like at 3 he might be getting a bit bored, but he's at that lucky, like amazing age where he can just put Bing on.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's been a challenge, and now like we're also planning on selling our apartment. So we've had like we have had to spend like a lot of time doing like home styling, and there's been a photographer here, and like all the talk with like the realtor, and
Wow.
And so then like the few hours every day that you have of like a me time or like socializing with Max, that's just been gone. So as soon as Alvin has like fallen asleep, then it's like work, and then go to bed, and then up again. And so it's
I'm breathing for you, man. I feel you. Yeah. And how do you say when everything does just kind of pile on top and everything does get really overwhelming, what kind of things
Sorry, my phone. And my husband as well.
That's a perfect like cue that literally came on time, like when everything's happening.
Yeah, exactly. Hi. Do you want to say hi? He's been on football practice.
Aww. Where is he? Is he coming in? How are you?
I'm good, thanks. A bit low on the table. No, I'm good.
Oh my gosh, I'm finally meeting you. I've seen so many pictures and videos, and I feel like I know you, but I don't. This is amazing.
Yeah, I've grown so much.
Oh.
Yeah, it was a long time. I was seeing your pictures as well back in the days when Sara was a bit more active on social media.
Aww.
But I would say that I write lists.
Lists.
That's the answer to the question.
Yeah.
You remember asking it. That's what I do.
There's magnets.
Yeah.
Oh, very nice. There we go.
We have one schedule with the food.
Oh wait, I can't hear.
Have a food planner as well.
Oh, you have
like on the fridge. Yeah.
Oh wow. And how does that work?
No, it's just like we try on like Saturdays or Sundays just to like plan what we're gonna eat.
Okay.
During the week and just write it down. And go grocery shopping. No, it's my sister again calling.
Sorry, we'll wrap this up soon because I know you have lots on, and this is what it's all about, which is perfect. So you kind of like organize your food in advance, so you kind of like know what meals you're going to have. It takes care of that. That's really good. And it's so say I had a magic wand and I could make the day longer for you, what would you do more of, or what would you introduce into your routine?
I think right now I would probably try to do more active things, like go more to the gym and things like that. Yeah. I know, like that would be, of course, if the longer day also meant that Alvin was asleep for longer. So it would be like me time. Otherwise, I mean, spending time with him, of course. Because now, like, we pick him up from kindergarten at 5, and then we have like 2 hours before he goes to bed. So like every day I spend 2 hours with him, and that's not much.
Yeah.
So spend time with him if he was awake, but otherwise, some kind of like physical activity, going to the gym.
Yeah. Yeah, good. And it's okay, so this is probably going to be like a really difficult question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. So what do you think should be prioritized in your life to live a fulfilled life? Like, what do you think at the moment you're doing really well, and what do you think you could spend more time on?
It's the one that my husband is listening to the answer here. I think that no, that's
No pressure.
but like what I'm doing really well. I think that I am making life like the life for our family run kind of smooth. Sometimes I think being a woman and like doing that little extra, I have like things under control, and I know like what the plan is. So I think that I make life easier for the rest of my family.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. But what was the other part of the question?
Oh, and it's what would you like to spend more time on? What do you think needs to be prioritized a bit more?
Well, even though I said before that like I wanted to like do more training and things like that, I think that I don't allow myself to relax. And so that would probably be
like some self-rejuvenation.
I mean, that's really important, but I don't allow myself to do it. I like always try to make the most out of every minute. So
yeah.
And then I took it back. He said that I should live more in the now.
Oh,
no, when we didn't have internet, I actually read a book in the bath one day. So that was
yeah.
But I think it was like the first time in a year or something. So
that's lovely.
to be better. Yeah.
So nice. And okay, so last little question for you. So what do you think is one thing that your country does really well, and what do you think, I don't know, there's one thing that your country could learn from another country to kind of improve?
You mean like in general or related to
yeah, in general, like what would you say that Sweden does really well?
I think that at least being in the situation that we are now, like the whole system with like how much you can have your kid at like a kindergarten, and it's basically cost free. You can be at home on maternity leave for, I mean, I was at home for 9 months, and then Max was home also for 9 months. And I mean, of course it was financially challenging, but I mean, we survived. So that part, like the social security part, that I think that we're doing that quite well.
I think lots of people are going to want to move to Sweden after hearing this.
Yeah, but then we also have very high taxes, so we pay for it, but in other ways. I would say.
Yeah.
But then what we could like learn from others and improve. We are kind of we're not like the most social people, I would say. I mean, family is important, but like if you go to like Italy or Spain, you see like how people are like more social and like socially active, and they like going to like a restaurant in Spain, like everyone's just like talking to each other. And yeah, I think Swedes we're shy, and we like to be on our own.
Yeah.
Like kind of like isolated in a way, maybe. So I think that I love going to like Italy. Because people are just like so straightforward, and it's just so easy. And we are, I don't know, a bit stuck up and
but you do them so well. Everything's so tasteful.
Thank you.
I love you, Sara. Thank you so much for catching up with me. And
yeah, no worries at all. I hope it could help, and I hope that you find something to share.
Thank you, lovely. Pause.